Someone wants you dead. And the rivers ran red with the blood of innocents. You are being followed. Fear controls you. You are completely alone. Guilt is weighing you down. No one will remember you. Time is an illusion. This world is an illusion. Your greed will be your downfall. Your actions serve no one. You are your own worst enemy. Rich and poor alike are destined to rot. Farewell, innocence. And hello, my agent of anarchy. It appears I've returned just in time for the party. I know you can hear me, Exile. You're not mad. Not yet. What magnificent monuments to mortal absurdity. Yet it is somehow aspirational. If only you knew what this place truly hides. Flames and madness. I'm so glad I didn't miss the fun. One person's beginning is another person's end. I wonder what your end will begin. Death still crashes upon the sands. But who are these new inhabitants? Feel compelled to stride beneath the waves? Perhaps you should. The god of war has reshaped this region. He's always been unimaginative. Tukahama is expecting you. Don't keep him waiting. New paths lead to new nightmares. Are you any more free from the bones trapped down here? Or are you caught in a prison of a different kind? Climb to great heights, only to leap. You feel the temptation, do you not? The Soul Drinker, Abarath awaits. The Puppet Mistress is calling your name. Can you hear it, Exile? Madness approaches. Life would be so much simpler if you accepted this Arthur's offer. Salt on the wind, the river sours, the king has returned. Are you being led into a trap? He calls to you from beyond the horizon. The Lord of Salt and Sea shall set you free. No, your soul anyway. All these rotten rattlers were brought down by your hand. Will they return the favor? It was madness that strangled this place. You can feel it, can't you? Look what faith does. Ignore not this lesson. No place better to hide your heresy than right beneath the bishop's nose. Skill, bound by logic, built this grim sanctuary. Madness tore it down. Such magnificent talent, and you wish to ruin it. Deeper still, Exile. Deeper still. The walls are closing in. Ralakesh. Oh, my brother has been busy, hasn't he? Can you feel it? Despair thick as cloth. Gruthkle, a madness not of my making. I wish I could take credit. This thorny maze is similar to how madness feels upon the mind. 50% of the sensation, I'd say. Not always. Gruthkle got a lot less fun after, all her children died. Not my fault. Great works require a touch of insanity. An entire civilization caught in a blood-hungry frenzy. What a delight it was to witness. The Mother of Shadows makes herself known. You intend to fight our Akali? Delightful. Sin is sending you to slay his former lover. Harsh. Nice of you to help rid Sin of his former lover. I'd have told him exactly where he could put such a request. What with such large walls trying to keep out, or keep in. Take a deep breath, Exile. That is the smell of civilized society. Why do mortals insist on burying all the fun things? My greatest regret is not being there to witness the bedlam that led to the state of this city. Run through your tunnels, ugly little rat. Pick up your scraps. Beware of the cat. This looks like a lovely spot to lay down and die, Exile. Oh, this brings back memories. Solaris was not so gaudy when I knew them. They used to be so close, the Celestial Sisters. Such grand monuments built to honor a petty hothead. Parade your victories, hide your defeats. Mortals are so insecure. That little creep is near. How exciting. Bugle, Silver Terror. Now we shall see what you're made of, Exile. I'd not have wasted so much stone on these sisters. Lunaris was always the moody one. It wasn't hard to turn them against each other. A little nudge here and there. That's all it took. You wish to fight the very skies themselves. Win or lose, this will be a pleasure to see. Take a sip. What's the worst that could happen? Why do you feel so justified in killing so many? You're quite the slaughterer. Should I be wary of you? Savor the sand that stings your face. It is a reminder that I still let you live. You do not question how you are able to slay gods. You cannot slay gods. Gods are immortal. Do you question what you are told? Sin is sending you to slay his daughter now, too. You'd think he would be more upset. Why do you believe Sin can be trusted? It was Sin's creation that brought about Ray-class ruin. We are simply here to restore it. You relentlessly pursue that which you do not know. Garakan's shrine is near. Reminds me of those bygone days in ancient Kef when we gods were amicable. No longer. Garakan nests near. What I wouldn't give to relive the halcyon days in ancient Kef when we kept mortals in their rightful place. Another failed attempt to enforce order upon the world. Industry is naught but a sham game. Technology is a poor substitute for power. This is where we slumbered. I must say, I admire your work. It was cruel what you did to this innocent creature. I appreciate cruelty. I will not miss this thing strangling slumber. The smell is bad, but the tenants are worse. Rot is the least foul presence here. Once more into the bleeding heart of fury and depravity. You seek to end the madness, yet you were its herald. It was you who allowed Kitava's return. Faith is born in the strangest of places. Such fine trinkets show their true value in times of crisis. Order is ephemeral. Chaos is the natural state of things. Nothing shatters sanity quite like blind faith. How deep do the dead dwell? How many will stand atop your own bones? You go to face the insatiable one. Unenviable. The insatiable one will consume you. Turn back lest our games come to an end. Kitava will welcome you with open jaws. To come so close and then fail would be very entertaining. Best of luck. I suppose this shall be the last time we contest Exile. A shame that you must follow sin into the mouth of madness so blindly. You walk through the corridors of madness and into the mouth of death itself. I do believe you finally lost your mind. Your tolerance of the intolerable is admirable. What will be the straw that finally breaks you? I will find it. I will never stop searching for that which sends you spiraling into the abyss. You will hurt those you love. You cannot stop death. Your life will end and you will be forgotten. This is all in your head. This is all an illusion. Nothing you do will be remembered. They are out to get you. They are plotting against you. You are the only one who matters. You are greater than a god, untouchable. You've already done this before. You are caught in a loop. Your life will leave no trace. You are desperate for love, and everyone knows it. You will die alone and afraid. Everything you have done has only made things worse. You will be remembered as a traitor and a tyrant. You are the cause of great misery. You have fabricated your entire memory. You are being controlled by greater forces. Nothing you have done was real. Your life has been one long lie. They are using you. Everyone is simply using you. You have no true friends, only convenient acquaintances. You will never get that which you seek. They're getting closer. They will find you, and they will destroy you. They know all your secrets. Nothing is hidden from their view. You have experienced no real pain. That will soon change. All suffering in this world stems from your actions. Feeling okay? You're looking a little pale, Exile. Oh, the weary traveler draws close to the end of its life. Still alive, Exile. For now. You are rotting from the inside out. Everyone you trust has been replaced by illusions. They are trying to get to you. My lord, you are murdering innocent souls. Time is a veil. You exist in the singular eternity. You can never die. Why don't you test it? The face that stares back in the mirror is a stranger. Why don't you lay down your weapons and talk it over? Nothing about you is special or remarkable. You are destined to bring ruin to all you touch. They will all abandon you when they learn the truth. You will be captured, stupid beast. You are just another stumbling corpse. You are lost in the middle of the jungle. The unrighteous will be turned to ash. Still sane, Exile. They are watching you from beyond this world. Can you feel them? They will turn you into red milk. No one knows your name. No one but me. You will never know my name. You are free to explore this vast world, yet here you are, doing the bidding of others. Warriors far greater than you ever will be are long forgotten. You can't leave this dream. You will never escape this nightmare. This is your eternity. True strength comes from within, and I know for a fact you are empty. Everyone you have slain had a life, had a family. Your turn will come one day. You destroy that which you cannot control. Are you the hunter, or are you the prey? Stupid dog, you are chasing your own tail. You are even more insufferable than those so-called conquerors. Everyone around you is sick. Put them out of their misery. They're all sick and dying, and it's spreading. They've come to you to die. You are their mercy. Are you the fisherman, or are you the bait? Can't keep still, neither can he. Do you hear it? Your misery manifest now seeks you out. Panic builds within you. You can feel it hunting you, can't you? Your eyes do not deceive you. That demon has come for your head. I wonder, what horrid visions will this being bring? Not dead yet. You'll soon wish you were. Have you met my friend? He is so eager to meet you. It seems we have a visitor. Why don't you welcome them? Remember this ramshackle place? A second home, and yet something seems off, does it not? You've stood against so many horrors and survived. I think it's time to at last test your limits. This is only the beginning. Are you trying to cleanse yourself of me? You can't get rid of me, Exile. I am you. Nothing you do matters. The dream will end, and the dreamer will pass into the next world. Do you not wonder what tugs at the strings of fate? What stands astride the abyss and beckons you to fall? Believe me, you will fall, Exile. I will break you. Let yourself be drawn into the mire. I will not be made a fool. So be it. Keep your precious sanity, my agent of chaos. You shall serve me whether you like it or not. I'm not going anywhere. Pleased with yourself? Feel all high and mighty, O powerful god slayer. With all the gods dead, I suppose I should turn my full attention to you. We shall see how far you can be pushed.
Reveal your past. Open your mind to me. What secrets are you hiding in that murderous mind of yours? Let's find out. Remember me? When we're through here, you won't. Valdo had some ingenious designs hidden in his memories. Observe! Valdo's designs were flawed. Do you remember dying here? You will. What are you? In this, the realm of the past, I am king, and you will bow. This one is my own creation. Ha! Plenty more where that came from. Face your destruction. No! Impossible! How? This isn't over. This will never be over. I will unify humanity. Feel the pull of the void. Yes, that's it. Death sweeps in. I will crush you. Obliterate sin. Bow. If I must destroy you before uniting mankind, I will. You and I were allies once, even friends. A pity. I owe you my renewed existence, but that debt only extends so far. I cannot allow you to impede the cause. With each new murder, you make mankind more vulnerable. Every friendship becomes a betrayal given enough time. Keep pushing me, and I'll be forced to pursue those close to you. I will sacrifice everything for the cause. Can you say the same? What morality do you have to stand in my way? To think I trusted you. I wish I didn't know what I know now. I will resist you to the last, because I must. Begone! I do this for all mankind. Open your mind and be erased. Necessary. Justified. Only a matter of time. Be still. Erasure. Be no more. Sin surrounds you. Faith empowers. Belief overwhelms. Obliteration. Return. I will lead the masses to salvation. You will damn us all. Yes, speed. Cleansing flames. Burn away sin. Coward. Repent! Annihilate! Rayclast will serve! I will give my all! And so will you! For Rayclast! I am everywhere! Rayclast needs me! Light of salvation! Darkness surrounds us! Shame! Regret!
You stand before the gates of the Lords Labyrinth. Within these walls, the Lady of Justice doth preside. She shall weigh your mind in one hand, your heart in the other. Should she find you wanting, death shall be your sentence. Should she find you worthy, you will be given the loyalty and love of an empire. The Lord's Labyrinth awaits you. Choose wisely, strike quickly, trust completely. And may you find the ending that you deserve. Ascend with precision. The goddess is watching. Justice will prevail. By the goddess, what ambition! By the goddess, what ambition! Such resilience! Such resilience! You were born for this. You were born for this. You are inexhaustible. You are inexhaustible. Triumphant at last. You are free. I die for the Empire. A maw of spinning teeth, eager to tear into your flesh. A bed of flowers that dismember and eviscerate. In my youth, I was fascinated by the brutal precision of the lumber. The wheels of misfortune spin incessantly. The story of life is punctuated by pain. In dark times, oft we stagger to the depths of disheartenment. The path to ascendancy is winding and treacherous. Deadly machinations benefit greatly from ample drainage. Inflated confidence is so easily perforated. The firmament hates us with incandescent fervor. Precious gems are forged by heat and pressure. To remain in health, one must cauterize necrotic flesh. Flesh runs from bones like wax from a candle. The ground heaves and seethes in its distemper. There is no cooling respite from the searing attentions of greatness. Walk with purpose through the swarm of biting doubt. Even as we rise, the shadow of failure continues to hunt us. It takes resolution to walk through the hornet's nest. The most harmless click might signal your impending doom. Trouble will roam far and wide in search of a companion. Just like the Maraket of the plains, wandering and killing. As children, we were all mesmerized by the spinning of tops. Death likes to come and go as it pleases. Twisted thoughts spiral downward into madness. Life is an endless cycle of hope and fear. A throne is the most devious trap of them all. To be prepared is to live in a constant state of fear. Perilous is that which cannot be predicted. One should never be Victory always surfaces where you least expect it. Death springs just as readily from the ground as life does. The most ancient fear is that of the unknown. An ascendant might be waylaid by a single misplaced step. Fortune is a lie perpetuated by short-sighted fools. Danger lurks in plain sight, ineluctable and inscrutable. It is a lucky fool who can stumble blindly through life. Eyes do not lie, but the mind is a consummate deceiver. Victory is attained by the right action at the right time. Some spend their time living, while others spend their time dying. How differently we would live if we knew when to die. There is no good time to risk it all. An emperor understands the difference between patience and hesitation. Some machinations are best left dormant. It is wise to leave automata to their own devices. A simple action, yet the consequences can be so dire. With the click of a mechanism, the whole world changes. The future shall be governed by the cold creative apparatus. The trap of tyranny is inescapable. Proceed with care, Ascendant, for as confidence surges, precision wanes. Proceed with care, Ascendant, for as confidence surges, precision wanes. A wise emperor makes every decision as if it were his last. A wise emperor makes every decision as if it were his last. Decisions don't kill people. Consequences do. Decision is murder. You kill one possibility to give life to another. In designing jeopardy, two ingredients are paramount: deliberation and precision. The Empire awaits you with open jaws. One must remember that deviance is not the same as deviation. A wise emperor knows when to circumvent a troubling situation. A clever diversion can create the most interesting opportunity. When the road is long and weary, one simply needs a good fork. Only a sheep follows the commonly trodden trail. Astute perception may yield a wealth of insight. In a world without justice, the innocent should be closely scrutinized. The mighty are no match for the observant. In politics, it is the vigilant who prosper. To fear the unknown is to forego many a gratifying delight. Before your emperor, you are worthy. Before the goddess of justice, you are worthy. Receive our blessings, embrace our gifts, and rise, Ascendant. For this is the ending that we all deserve. May you find the ending that you deserve. May you find the ending that you deserve. May you find the ending that you deserve. Choose wisely, strike quickly, trust completely. Choose wisely, strike quickly, trust completely. The Lady of Justice presides over us all. The more prideful the ascendancy, the more painful the descent. The more prideful the ascendancy, the more painful the descent. In the contest for ascendancy, precision is next to godliness. In the contest for ascendancy, precision is next to godliness. Assumption is a hazardous pastime. Assumption is a hazardous pastime. In life, as in death, ascendancy is a matter of unknown. utmost precision. In life, as in death, ascendancy is a matter of utmost precision. Precision and ambition, the twin traits of the worthy ascendant. Precision and ambition, the twin traits of the worthy ascendant. An emperor must rise above the shackles of mortality, but never the bonds of morality. An emperor must rise above the shackles of mortality, but never the bonds of morality. We must all prove ourselves in this divine court of the goddess. We must all prove ourselves in this divine court of the goddess. Justice presides, and only she may judge our legitimacy. Justice presides, and only she may judge our legitimacy. The trial exists to protect the innocent from the unworthy. The trial exists to protect the innocent from the unworthy. Delight in your gilded dungeon, Ascendant. What divides the conqueror from the conquered? Perseverance. The savage path is always swift and sure. The ancestors speak through your clenched fists. No judge, no jury, just the executioner. Raise your hand to the roaring crowd and pledge your allegiance to glory. Champion that which you love. He who fights for nothing, dies for nothing. No hunt is complete without the gutting and the skinning. A woman can change the world with a single well-placed arrow. There are venoms and virtues aplenty in the wilds, if you know where to look. Death is a banquet. It's up to the murderer to write the menu. Everyone knows how to die. Some just need a little nudge to get them started. The artist need not be present to make a lasting impression. Throw off the chains of fear and embrace that which was forbidden. Feed a storm with savage intent, and not even the strongest walls will hold it back. Embrace the serene power that is undead. Truth is elusive, yet God has provided us with all the tools necessary to find it. Drink deeply from God's chalice, for the faithful will never find it empty. When bound by faith and respect, the flock will overwhelm the wolf. You are the sculptor, crafting your destiny with the clay of mind, body, and purpose. You must navigate your empire through troubled waters. Your destination is more dangerous than the journey, Ascendant. Belief is the strongest metal of them all. There is a fine line between consideration and hesitation. The former is wisdom, the latter is fear. Shine boldly so that all may find you when the night falls. Allow your wisdom to be tempered by the flames of the past. An emperor must know precisely where he stands. An emperor must bear two blades, hope in the left hand, surety in the right. Time to feed, my pet. Argus does enjoy new playthings. Enjoy your little treat, my dear Argus. Argus, fetch. You killed my poor little Argus. Goodbye, Argus. I couldn't have asked for a more faithful and loving companion. Oh, Argus, I shall miss you. Where there's a golden key, there must be a golden door. Gold is the most liberating of metals. Let the day dawn golden with possibility. Where there's a silver key, there must be a silver door. any mystery can be unlocked if one has the right key. Oh, the weary traveler draws close to the end of the path. When the time comes to strike, an emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain doubt is to dance with death. An aspirant can afford to be promising. An emperor must keep those promises. The pursuit of power can be a grotesque affair. The pursuit of power can be a grotesque affair. Dark influences reside in dark places. Dark influences reside in dark places. A potent little gift from our primitive past. A potent little gift from our primitive past. There's nothing quite so enticing as a locked door. A locked door merely encourages curiosity. A locked door merely encourages curiosity. Such desecration, defiler, sanctity falls to ruination. Apparently, this is the ending you deserve. For those who ascend too quickly, the fall is inevitable. Justice is served. To rule an empire, one must excel at overcoming its trials. The most troubling situations can be the most rewarding. Enlightenment may be found in the realms of puzzlement. An emperor is only as efficient as those he commands. Lieutenant, your vexation is your victory. Lieutenant, demonstrate your precision. Lieutenant, beat some humility into this wretch. Lesson 1, how to control your temper. Lesson 2, how to get your point across. Lesson 3, how to be blunt and brief. Tempers rise and tempers fall. Loyalty is measured in duty and sacrifice. Men's hopes are crushed so easily. My 3 lieutenants remain. Misery loves company, I suppose. Only one of your lessons was completed, Ascendant. They say that 2 out of 3 isn't bad. They couldn't be more wrong. Determination overcomes domination. This is the one law of sovereignty. Must I do everything myself? These symbols are eternal, as are those who stand upon them. The will of an emperor must be impenetrable. The powerful are not invulnerable. It is written in the symbols. Power is a truly fickle mistress. When one defiles the effigy, one defiles the emperor. You are not an emperor if none will kneel before you. Those who stand should never outnumber those who kneel. Empires are forged in stone and fire. An empire should sparkle like ice upon the winter stone. An empire must be built to weather any storm. The people kneel before their true sovereign. It is the sovereign who empowers the scepter, not the other way round. Do not trust too deeply in your devices. No destiny is forged without a little breakage. One day, even the great scepter of God shall fall. Where the weapons remain, a new enemy will simply take the place of the old. A partial victory is no victory at all. Above all else, an emperor needs to finish what he started. Sweep the trappings of past emperors aside. Make your empire anew. Some things that slumber should never be awoken. A good emperor gives more than he takes. The emperor is enriched by the loyalty of his subjects. Happy subjects make for a happy emperor. Pity the emperor who sits alone on his throne. To lose a retainer is to lose a dear friend. The empire lives on, and so do its most loyal of servants. The loyal must be avenged. The essence of an empire must be shared equally amongst all its citizens. What the empire gives, the emperor shall consume. Sovereign leeches drain life from their host. The empire's essence must be saved for the people. A wise emperor recognizes that life and empire are the same. The sovereign leech leaves but a husk for its descendants. The last emperor is always the worst emperor. Slowness lends strength to one's enemies. Civilization only gains in momentum. Wisdom is the offspring of suffering and time. Power is the reward of the patient. Time may be slow, but never slain. Time is the champion of second chances. Time is not to be wasted. Complex machinations converge to a single act of power. The Emperor is the figurehead of a vast machinery. Behold the machinery at maximum efficiency. The machine only works if the cogs are obedient. Even the grandest designs can be dismantled. While the cogs believe, the Imperial machine marches on. For some, the machine is too complex to comprehend. To the glorious apparatus of empire. Many an emperor has fallen to the false virtues of others. The crown jewels of an emperor are in his mind. No man is eternally virtuous. An emperor must not be defined by the virtues of others. The virtuous aren't always the victorious. The truly virtuous are few and far between. Vandal is without virtue. The Emperor beckons, and the world attends. An emperor must choose his attendants wisely. Always destroy your rival's power at the source. An emperor alone is just a man. Loyalty is a fire that spreads quickly if the forest is dry. This empire remains filled with emperors in waiting. You can't stem this tide. Prove yourself, Ascendant. Prove yourself, Ascendant. To command is to act. To command is to act. You are condemned. You are condemned. Rise to the occasion. Rise to the occasion. Show me your resolve. Show me your resolve. Claw your way to the top. Claw your way to the top. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Give no quarter. Give no quarter. Withstand the siege. Withstand the siege. Claim your inheritance. Claim your inheritance. Honor your name. Honor your name. Nobility is a lie. Nobility is a lie. Make your mark. Make your mark. Enjoy the reprisal. Enjoy the reprisal. No two battles are alike. No two battles are alike. Failure is an illusion. Failure is an illusion. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. Stay the course. Stay the course. You are relentless. You are relentless. Find your determination. Find your determination. Violence is delicate. Violence is delicate. Strike with fidelity. Strike with fidelity. Be singular of purpose. Be singular of purpose. Finish this. Finish this. Receive your sentence. Receive your sentence. Are you a martyr? Are you a martyr? Give of yourself. Give of yourself. Death and loyalty. Death and loyalty. Leadership is a life sentence. There is no escape. Forget your freedom. Choose your path. Commit to your cause. Accept no impasse. The just goddess presides over us all. The future of the Empire rests in her even hands. In the impressionable youth of my reign, I was encouraged to believe in the precious nature of my imperial blood. The divine claret, as one fool of a courtier would repeat with tiresome regularity. Unfortunately, my divine claret refused to pour from one cup to another. Try as I might, with a lovely procession of young and ever-dutiful wives, my noble seed simply would not sprout. Who then to choose as my worthy successor? With the candidates on hand either mediocre at best or maniacal at worst, I found myself in quite the quandary. That's when fortune took me by the hand and led me to a forgotten tome on a forgotten shelf in the quietest corner of San Library. A tome entitled Ancient Traditions of Asmerian Ascendancy. The rest, one might say, is history. The Asmeri were the first culture known in history to use trials of strength, wisdom, and spirit to select its chieftains. The first Lord's trial was a rough-hewn maze festooned with wild animals and brutal traps, crafted to test aspiring Asmerian leaders' body, mind, and soul. In conquering the adversities of the maze, the champion proved they were capable of bearing the crushing burden of chieftainship. The first trials were simple contraptions reflecting simple times. As the Asmerian civilization grew in number and complexity, so did the trials, from treacherous mazes to bewildering labyrinths. Alas, there are no surviving descriptions of the labyrinth that tested and proved the worth of Viruso Prima Imperialis. I imagine it was quite something to behold. The Asmeri were consummate survivors. They had to be, having been sired in the most inhospitable range of mountains in all of Rayclast. Unfortunate, some might say. I not. I believe it was the making of them, and of us, their descendants. So it is no wonder that they developed the Lord's trial. With survival being a moment-by-moment concern, that harried people grew to understand power quite intimately. Strong leadership is able to bridge the chasm between existence and extinction. Poor leadership might see an entire tribe vanish into that same chasm. When the Asmeri descended from their mountains to conquer the fecund lands of central Rayclast, they thrived and multiplied with utmost alacrity in those more forgiving climes. For is it not poverty that teaches us how we might excel in times of plenty? The custom of the Lord's trial was upheld throughout the founding years of the Empire. Veruso's successor, Caspiro, was a low-born legionnaire, the lone survivor of a labyrinth that claimed the lives of every high-born contender, including Veruso's only son. Caspiro proved to be every bit the emperor that Veruso was. Alas, the Lords Labyrinth was corrupted by those with the vanity to consider their blood more precious than their empire. Selfish blood breeds selfish tongues, and the Empire paid for it with its own blood, with the Night of 1,000 Ribbons, with that most regal of cannibals, Emperor Romira. Not anymore. I, Izaro Frecius, shall return us to justice. I shall build the greatest Lord's Labyrinth in Asmerian history, and my successor shall be chosen by the goddess herself. Only when the Lord's Labyrinth is drenched in selfish blood can a true leader ascend the throne. In the court of the goddess, every man and woman is deemed worthy of redemption. Though you might be shackled by the tribulations of the past, the trials ahead offer you both freedom and glory. The future is yours, if you're bold enough to reach out for it. The path to justice is slender and perfidious, fraught with missteps of ambition and despair, egotism and doubt. Should you choose this road, beware those who would waylay your hopes and disembowel your dreams. Remain sure and remain true. Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty. On the night of 1,000 ribbons, our finest city burned. It burned with fires lit by cruelty and neglect. It burned with shame for giving the title of emperor to a man who did not deserve it. A leader cannot simply stride forward into the future and expect his people to be able to follow. A leader must look over his shoulder so that he can witness and understand the consequences of the path he has chosen, to ensure that his people are still with him, to ensure that he has not become lost. An emperor cannot allow himself to become buried in the shadowed vaults of self-doubt, cannot allow thoughts of imagined disaster to spin about inside his mind like so many stripe-splintered wheels. An emperor navigates his way through the terrors of perplexity with his eyes set firmly on the...
Come in. Please, come in. Come no closer unless you wish to experience what my vials contain firsthand. I am Tane, a freedman, and I plan to stay that way. Trust is not given freely, Exile. It must be earned, and you have not earned mine yet. But I do have something to give you. An opportunity. The task I have given you is dangerous. To face the cruelty that dwells in the living distilled and manifested is not a task I wish upon anyone. Yet it is what I've asked of you. So you may be asking yourself, for what purpose do I seek to isolate this darkness? I once thought it was a symptom of the corruption that pervades Rayclass, but now I believe it to be something more primeval and universal. An element of our very beings hitherto unknown. To better understand it is to better understand life as a whole. Is that not enough? Very well. There is more to the story, but it may take some time. In Oriath, I served a man named Lucan Octavius, a wealthy alchemist of high status. I call him my master, for I was both his apprentice and his slave. Lucan's work required handling extremely dangerous, often very hot materials. Not the sort of thing becoming of a man of stature. So it came to be that a slave like myself learned the nuances of the alchemical arts firsthand. As for Lucan, he was not the man he portrayed himself to be. He was more dangerous, more explosive, and more unstable than any material I had to handle. In public, he was fatherly and genial. In his home, he was violent and lustful. I do not regret what happened to him. Only the part I played. How many innocent men and women can you think of who were exiled? We are here because we are violent. Because we broke the laws of the land. I killed my master. I do not regret that he is dead, only that it was by my hand. My master was a sick man with dark proclivities. A sickness of the mind that no alchemy could hope to cure. He passed that sickness on to me. I was never violent until that day. Until that day, I could not fathom how one man could take the life of another. But Lucan drew out of me an anger I did not know I was capable of experiencing. It overcame me, forced me out of my own body, and by the time I was in control again, my master was dead. That anger, that darkness is still in me, Exile. And that is why we are here. My master called alchemy the science of turning learned men to fools. Every half-wit with an alembic would try to turn lead to gold, or formulate an elixir of eternal youth. And Master Lucan was no different. But men like him rarely saw the magic in alchemy up close. The sudden bubbling of a liquid, the heat growing in your hands, the vibrant colors and foul odors. Much knowledge is lost at a safe distance. In truth, the power of alchemy is not in turning one thing into another, or creating miracles. It is in isolating and extracting. It is about finding purity within the confusion. Keep your distance from her, Exile. One horrible night, my master flew into a great wrath and beat me to the precipice of death itself. For a moment, I envisioned myself walking through strange gray halls. She was there, watching me, unblinking, a herald for something far greater. She was there. She spoke. She said that joining the halls of the dead was not my fate that night, but that we would meet again. These are the faded memories of a terrified and traumatized child. Perhaps no more than a foolish nightmare. But I cannot stop myself from shivering when she turns her purple eyes my way. Because I can tell that she recognizes me. My master was no stranger to the machinations of the Templar elite like her. I feel a sort of kinship with her. We both gave up our names, though she did so voluntarily. We both sought to make something of ourselves. Where our kinship ends is how she made her name known. I can appreciate the desire for knowledge, but I can never condone the methods used to acquire it. If it is true that in her dying moments she sought to redeem herself, it casts an interesting light on our exploration of the darkness. Perhaps it is our very mortality that drives us to do good, to suppress the primal urges. Our actions outlive us, after all. So the Mad Emperor continues to stomp around in his labyrinth, a speaking dead man inside a grand machine. Did he happen to release any sort of liquid essence when you smashed his body? No? A shame. For a moment I was certain. No, it is no matter. I do not believe we want his kind of immortality. Though I know little of my natural heritage, I know enough to understand the implications of your victory against the Karui god of war. Did his long slumber weaken him? Or have the gods been greatly exaggerated through the evolution of myths? In either case, this undoubtedly means we will find no divine help against the intrinsic darkness. They are not the keepers of mankind many believe them to be. What makes you, you, or me, me? Some say it is the soul, an intangible something that exists before we are born and carries on after death. But I have seen souls that walk the land here and show nothing that distinguishes them from the rats and the rowers. It is something else, something no man has discovered. A whisper, a flickering flame that burns through every inch of our being until it is extinguished. But what if we can capture it before it burns away? Bottle it up, save it, and perhaps even give it a new wick through which to burn once more. You will find no shortage of ferocious beings near you. Kill them, cut from their flesh a sample and bring the samples to me. We will discover the essence of being. These samples you've salvaged, though gruesome, hide within them countless secrets. Flesh and blood and bone and sinew, all but a veil, a mask that hides what truly drives us. I speak of the intrinsic darkness, the base desires and instincts that we all fight yet rarely defeat. This darkness hides within us, waiting for a moment of weakness. A moment when it can take control. A cruel and invisible slave driver. But we can coax it out. My master called it Sinner's Water, a concoction he spent much of his life perfecting. He would give it to his children and scribble notes as they beat me. In truth, I do not believe his concoction worked any more than his elixir of immortality, but that did not soften their blows. His formula was wrong, but his idea was sound. My formula works, as you will see. Please, drop the samples in the jar and ready your weapons. You are about to witness the darkness that drives us. To conjure a creature of darkness, we use the flesh of the dead. We destroy that flesh and draw out the ill will that inhabits it, giving it form. My hope is that one day we may do the reverse. Destroy the darkness while leaving the flesh unharmed. To that end, I've acquired a rare ichor. There's no other like it in this world. The very essence of a human. For all intents and purposes, its soul. This individual was cruel beyond measure, or so I've heard, though not incapable of kindness. This ichor is robust enough that it might be injected into an entity of equally cruel temperament and may be given new life. Now, imagine if we could then destroy the darkness. Could this cruel soul be purified? Could it be brought back not only from the dead, but from the precipice of damnation? That is my true goal. Do you see now what we face, Oriathan? That was what slept within the creatures just near here. What darkness sleeps within me, or within you? And if we can draw out that darkness, might we then be able to draw out that which makes us, us? Think on this, for when we next meet, we shall begin to seek the answer. Your victory was a great relief. I must admit I had my moments of doubt. Unfortunately, the pathetic pool of fluid on the ground, all that remains is the sample I added, and it appears unaffected. I will get it cleaned up and we can try again with different samples. Welcome, Exile. This manor and the contents within it once belonged to Master Lucan. It was here, in this laboratory, that he met his fate, and I met mine. It seems that in the wake of Kitava's rise, the rest of his family fared no better. Forgive me if I do not grieve for the family's fate. Our relationship was complicated. If there is a silver lining to be found from Kitava's destruction of Oriath, it is that with access to this lab, we may be somewhat more ambitious with our tests. I could hardly be happier with the samples you've found. For both our safety and the safety of those around us, we must perform this extraction here, in the lab. When you are ready, get the samples. Though there is much left to discover from the dwellers of Rayclast and Oriath, I wish to test my hypothesis that the darkness is not simply a property of where we live. I've heard rumor that there may be a way to experience, other places. I'm no expert in such matters, but if you plan on such a journey, I would ask that you continue to seek out suitable samples. And if you find some which possess the darkness in great quantities, well, all the better. Without this lab, I'd be wary about releasing such entities into the wild. Here, they can be contained, if not controlled. In alchemy, some changes are almost instantaneous, while others require patience. It probably comes as no surprise that a profession that pursues such fantastical goals as alchemy does not attract the most patient of people. Thus, the discovery of the catalyst. An additive which accelerates the transformation without influencing it. You might find such an additive useful for seeking out, for example, specific latent properties in certain materials. The sort of thing that could normally take many years. Hear me, old man. I am never going to let you rest. Never. And that's just the beginning. I'll never tire of watching them slaughter you. I hope you can feel every cut, every burn. I hope it haunts every moment of your pathetic existence. It kills you to see me free, doesn't it? It kills you to know you have no power over me anymore. I'm in control of both our destinies. And what's left of your legacy? Nothing but a few stains on the floor. All your work was for nothing, and I couldn't be happier about it.